What's up, everybody? Welcome to Move the Sticks. DJ, Bucky, Rhett back with you as we get a chance to look back at a couple Monday Nighters and have some rookie discussions as we do each and every week here on the show.
Yes.
Buck, what level of surprise do you have that Rhett's not wearing Indiana gear right now?
I'm really surprised because between this, there are a couple things that I can count on from both of you guys. October is full of optimism when it comes to IU basketball.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's right.
A lot of optimism. There's a lot of stuff that I'm going to hear about early in October, November, December. It begins to fade. And by January.
Look at the chat. Look at the chat. Look at the chat, Buck. Look at the chat.
We got this thing going on. What's the status? What do I need to know about this rivalry?
This is all you need to know here, Rhett. This is what you need to know. So the team that Bucky was a fan of his whole life, having grown up in the South, we're getting ready to knock them out in this wild card round, the Braves. And then we're going to go to the adopted team that Buck picked up as, hey, I guess I'll just be a Dodger fan now. And then we're going to knock them out. And then we're going to have our hands full probably with the Phillies. So that's kind of
I never liked the Braves because all of my friends liked the Braves. And so I was always counterculture. I never got into the Braves. Never.
Okay. All right. So
that's where we are baseball wise.
Let me know when I need to watch that. Appreciate you guys for keeping me updated.
Hey, you want to come on down? You want to come down for some playoff baseball down to San Diego? I got a ticket for you anytime you want, buddy.
That's wow. That's quite an offer. If you can give me a car service for the next 4 hour trip one way, I'll do it.
And I'm saving Bucky's invite till we get to the NLCS. Once the Dodgers are done and his interest is waned, I'll get Bucky down here and we'll get him to a playoff.
Wow! All right,
yes,
that's a pretty good deal.
Everybody wins here.
Yeah, we'll see what that looks like.
All right, let's get to the doubleheader last night. By the way, was it not accurate when we previewed these two games? We spent all that time talking about the Seahawks Lions, and we were looking forward to it. Fantastic game. I mean, awesome. Just a track meet, unbelievable plays, high energy. And then I tried to get you guys to sell me on the other game with the.
I did though.
Oh, that game was terrible. The Titans and the Dolphins was terrible.
I gave Will Levis and the Titans the blueprint. I said, just may your quarterback's decisions be made with good discernment. And here he goes.
It wasn't him.
Possession, bang, interception, and then he gets hurt, and then it's our guy Mason Rudolph. Yeah, I mean, look, they ran a
path to the draft from Mason Rudolph.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Look, while we're just on that game here real quick, why is it that it's been so hard, you guys think, for the Dolphins to find success running the football, whereas that has been a hallmark of what they've done offensively, finding those explosive runs. And, now when they really need them, they can't seem to squeeze some of those out. What have you guys seen from the Dolphins run game that's just kind of been non-existent thus far?
I think two things. I think when it comes to the run game, you have to be better than people up front. That's one way, obviously, you get it done. You're just flat out better than everybody, number one. Or number two, you have the threat of the pass, especially downfield, that you're going to be able to scare safeties out of there. They don't really have either. And to be honest with you, if you look at all the defensive metrics for the Tennessee Titans, they are really, really good up front.
Yeah, that's true.
Tavondre Sweat's playing good. I mean, they've got a really good group there. So I give who is it? Is it Wilson? Who's their DC there? Yeah, it's Denard Wilson. Yeah, he would have been with the Eagles. Yeah, and Denard, dude, give Denard a lot of love and a lot of credit because that defense is really, really good.
Yeah, I am surprised at the Dolphins, right? So it's always a team that we fall in love with. We love the bells and whistles that they have. We talk about the speed factor and those things, and we have always kind of, I would say, said that Tua was overrated because of the weapons around him. We're seeing that when you remove him, this offense doesn't operate the same without, which may validate Chris Greer and those other guys for paying him and why they see him as a QB1 when everyone on the outside is like, oh man, they can get anybody to do it. Look, he's a Jenga piece. It doesn't work without Tua as the quarterback. And it's crazy to think that a team as talented as they are on the perimeter cannot exist without their starting quarterback.
Yeah.
How about Rhett on the other side of it? Mason Rudolph, he's going to have a job forever. Like if you prove that you're competent in these short spurts, which he's done now at a couple different spots.
The Steelers last year, right?
Yeah,
I mean, like he just kept hanging. I wonder how long the Titans hang on. I know Brian Callahan has said that, Will Levis is still 100% the quarterback and he'll go if he's 100%. But I mean, if you can get it done with run game and really good defense and competent quarterback play, it doesn't turn the ball over. What do you think? I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of kept that thing in there going that way.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's still. You've invested in Levis just in terms of the capital, and he has had some decent moments. It's just really been the 2 or 3 boneheaded plays that he makes. He's just got to clean that up, and I think that comes more with playing. I don't think they're going to throw him away at this point in time, but
no,
I was thinking of it more, Buck, just from the standpoint of, man, some of these teams, like, they just get caught. Their starter goes down, coming off of a year where we had 66, 67 quarterbacks that played. It's just hard. Mm-hmm. I'm not picking on Skylar Thompson, but it's just hard to believe that you're a team with championship aspirations like the Dolphins had, and knowing Tua's injury history, that was your plan. And then, okay, so then that's gone. So now we go to we're scrambling. Now we're in a scramble drill. It's Tyler Huntley. Yeah. So it's just like we're going to try and go on this whole carousel. It just seems to me like there should have been more foresight there to have more of a plan in place. I'm just going by what I saw Joe Flacco do with the Indianapolis Colts and going, if you're a team with championship aspirations, you need a dude like that waiting in the wings if he has to get out there and play.
And DJ, it's one of the things that I'll never understand, why you won't pay significant money for a quality backup. It's a position that should be regarded as the 23rd starter on the team. And I know some teams treat it as such, but when you lose your starting quarterback, if you don't have a legitimate player, your season is up in smoke. And so for me, the Dolphins, particularly with Tua, who has had injury history, concussions, and those things, you would think that they would have paid a premium to have a starting caliber quarterback in the fold ready to go if he's not there. To me, that's mismanagement, coaching, front office, whatever it is. That should have been a priority at all times to have a quarterback that is ready to go.
Yeah, that was my takeaway there. Let's jump into the other game here.
Bryce Young's available, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Bryce Young.
By the way, I did
Russell Wilson.
Yeah, that's a popular one too. You see his name kicked around. I saw Davante Adams' name kicked around on the old interwebs this morning. That stuff's kicking back up. So
yeah, because Antonio Pierce liked an Instagram post or something that said that Davante has probably played his last game as a Raider.
Did he really?
Yeah, I saw that go out there today, and then apparently, Davante and Antonio Pierce haven't spoken since that was discovered. So.
Let's be real. I don't know if you guys had an opportunity to watch Receiver on Netflix. It certainly didn't put Davante Adams in a good light. And when you think about like culture and chemistry and what you're trying to build, if you're Antonio Pierce, you need all your veterans helping you pull it in the right direction. It doesn't seem like Davante Adams wants to play nice in the sandbox. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him move. I know the deadline has always been the target date, but what are we waiting on?
Why wait?
Like
if that's
do you remember, by the way, do you guys remember before the season started when I said that Brock Bowers would be the best player on their offense, and people lost their minds? The Davante Adams folks lost their minds. And I'm sitting here going, that's the future. That's who they're going to build around. And that just floated around. So I don't know how much we put into that, whether that's legit or not. It's definitely fascinating, and I wouldn't bat an eye if they did. I could make a strong case that the Raiders, or everything that they do this year, should be aimed towards next year, even though they find themselves at 2-2.
Yeah.
So we'll see there. All right, let's get on to this other game. This was the fun one, Buck. Lions, Seahawks. Jared Goff, the perfect game, 18 for 18, caught a touchdown as well. Jameson Williams got loose. This was kind of like the full. Like they have those air shows, like you go and it's like, hey, these are all the different, look at all the different planes, look at all the different things that we have at our disposal. This was an air show. This was them just showing off all the different ways that the Detroit Lions can score points.
Man, so fun to watch this offense. Hats off to Ben Johnson, Tar Heel, for being able to get the offense going and doing all the creative stuff that you want to see. But man, like you love being able to look back at your draft notes and say, oh yeah, I might have been okay on this play. Jameson Williams. Williams catches that diagonal coming across the field. And I mean, it is like a 4x1. Give it to him in the exchange zone. Zoom. And the Lions being able to kind of put the pieces of the puzzle together offensively. So you got Amon St. Brown. You didn't have Jameson Williams. They pick up Tim Patrick, to bring him in. He's not the speedster that he was, but another big, sturdy receiver that they can go to. And they just have a unique ability to play with finesse or force. They can throw it around the yard when they want to, but when the game gets hairy, they can hand it to either one of those backs. And, oh, by the way, I didn't know David Montgomery had a hit stick that he can absorb big blows and run through people and go through stuff. And him and Jahmyr Gibbs are more similar than different in terms of their ability to get in space and create. Man, Brad Holmes and that front office and Dan Campbell, the way they've taken the talent and put it in positions to succeed on offense is amazing. It is a fun team to watch because they have all the stuff that you want to pay money to go see, while also having the old school stuff that you got to have to win at the highest level.
And look, I think, I talked about it as we were previewing this game. Like, I felt like this was one of those games where you still wanted to see some of that grit and some of that physicality in the run game from the Lions. And yeah, Jared Goff went 18 for 18, and they had some of those explosive plays, but Jahmyr Gibbs went for 78, Montgomery went for 40, and then caught that ball that went for 40. That was insane too, that you're talking about with the hit stick. I still think that, like, even though they can be so explosive with, Laporta had one that go for 30, Jameson Williams for 70, Tim Patrick had one for 29. They picked up off the scrap heap, right? They've got that explosive ability, but I think when you're rooted in that toughness and you're rooted in that physicality, man, it makes you so much more dangerous, because we've seen, now you can say what you want about the teams that the Seahawks have beaten to start out 3-0, but I think that Mike McDonald defense is playing some good ball out there, and they got some really good players. But the fact that they had trouble dealing with all the different ways that the Lions can attack, I think says something about the staying power of this Lions offense and the different ways that they can get after it.
I'll get you 1 point on the Lions, then I'll get over to the Seahawks. But you guys talking about Jameson Williams. Pulled up his report. Tall, lean, explosive wideout. Everything he does on the field is sudden and fast. Flies off the line and is released just when you think he's reached top speed. He can tap a gear that very few possess. Turns quick hitters into long touchdowns and climbs on top of coverage in every game viewed. At his best on runaway routes, but flashes the ability to get in and out of breaks. Hands are inconsistent, though. Lets too many balls into his body. That results in drops. After the catch, Williams destroys pursuit angles with his speed. His production as a gunner on the punt team speaks to his competitiveness. Had a torn ACL in the college football playoff, but once healthy, could emerge as one of the premier deep threats in the NFL. But, I mean, that's what it is. He needed to get healthy, and he needed to kind of find his niche, find his role in an offense that's got a lot of, a really stellar pieces. And I think they're kind of figuring out how to deploy him and how to use him. So good development there. I mean, look, go ahead, Rhett.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, and I want to end that conversation quickly, but before we left this game, I was going to say, kind of similarly on the other side, now that Kenneth Walker's back healthy, I think you're seeing the different ways that Geno Smith and the Seahawks offense can really get after it too, because Walker took over that game in the second half. He was incredible with those 3 touchdowns, and the way that, he's got a great combination. We saw it at Michigan State in that 1 year, right after transferring in from Wake. Like, he's got that physicality, but also that game-breaking speed that can get you, turn 6 into 60, or, turn 8 into 28 pretty quickly. And you saw him reverse field on that 1 touchdown and outrun the rest of the defense. I thought that's going to give the Seahawks, if he can stay healthy, a big piece moving forward.
Yeah, and I'll say this about the Seahawks. In a game that turned into a track meet where maybe you wondered if they could go and kind of play that style, really impressed in their ability to flip the switch. And I would say offensively, it wasn't their best night, but the fact that they could go score for score against the Detroit Lions really bodes well for how they could finish up down the stretch. Really explosive offense. We know the defense is going to be right because Mike McDonald does a great job defensively, but I would be encouraged if I am the coaching staff looking at how the offense performed against what I think is one of the teams that's the class of the NFC. I think the Seattle Seahawks certainly acquitted themselves well.
Yeah, that's where I was going to go. You guys got me. I mean, that's exactly where I was going to go with this game. No, that was just I came away from this game on the Seahawks side of things, and I feel like we've said this. We said this about Buffalo after their loss to the Ravens. Yeah. Like, I think nothing less of the Seahawks coming out of that game. I came away saying, okay, you're going to find yourself in a shootout. Geno can go toe-to-toe with the most explosive offenses in this league. If not for, to be honest with you, DK fumbling and then a non-PI call that was pretty egregious on DK. Yeah. There's a couple. There's like any NFL game. There's 2 or 3 plays you can say this changes the outcome, but more so than that, you just eye test wise. Seattle belonged on the field with Detroit, and Detroit's the team I picked to win the NFC, and Seattle didn't look out of place at all. So I'd come away pretty encouraged if you're on the Seahawks side of things. And that defense, that was just a buzzsaw they ran into. There was nothing you could do to slow down the Lions on a day like that one. All right, let's take a quick break. We come back, we'll get to the rookie draft recap, show you where we stand, and pick some players for week 5 right after this. All right, we're back. Rookies, time for the rookie draft. Let's look back first before we look forward. Off of last week, Buck, man, you're rolling right now. You got 6 points because you ended up with Jaden Daniels. He got you points, obviously. BTJ, huge game for him. Brian Thomas Jr., your home team. And then you went Coleman, who got you. He won that one too. Jeez, Buck, you had a really good week.
Keon Coleman won.
Yeah, I don't know how. He had more points than Bowers didn't get much, and then had Allen.
Hey, we scoring touchdowns. They had a chance to, I've seen those guys up close the last couple of weeks. I had a chance to see Keon Coleman in pregame, give him a little pep talk. Hey, man, gotta get this thing going. BTJ, hey, my fantasy team, we got to get going.
Yeah, neighbors got me some points though, so that was good. So I ended up Bucky had 6 points, I had 4, Rhett 2. So when we look at the season total, Bucky's in first place with 20. I'm behind him with 17, and Rhett's got some work to do at 11. But the good news, Rhett, is it's a long season. You got plenty of time here, plenty of time.
Thank you.
You haven't found your guy yet. Normally, Rhett gets a guy that he kind of rides that horse all the way through, and he hasn't found that guy yet. But not today yet. We've got Bucky, Rhett, then myself for the draft order. Keep in mind, Lions, Chargers, Eagles, and Titans are on buys. I don't think that's going to impact us at all.
Maybe
Buck,
but
yeah, maybe McConkey. That's about it. Go ahead, Buck. What do you want to do here? You go, Jaden Daniels.
What do we have to do? I'm locked in.
Yeah,
Daniels for life. Daniels for life.
How did you get him? How did he have him last week and not have the number 1 pick? Because
did I go? Maybe I went neighbors first.
Yeah,
but technically, I was not there. But I believe those were my instructions to Nabil, so I have to take that. I have to take that one.
Guys are getting cute.
Give me neighbors. Give me neighbors at 2. Yeah. Even though they got the Giants going up against the Seahawks defense, and they got to make the cross country trip. I think neighbors' talent travels.
All right, I'm gonna go with my back-to-backers here. I'm going to go Marvin Harrison Jr. and Brock Bowers. I feel like this is like the same guys that end up going every week.
Yeah. That's all right. That's where we're at until somebody emerges. Okay.
Rhett, you're back
that means I'm back. I feel like I got to go Xavier Worthy here, guys. I got to go now that Rashee Rice is out. Does Worthy step into a bigger role at home against the Saints, trying to stay undefeated? Give me 4-2-1 speed.
All right. All right, you're up, Buck. You get back to backers.
Look, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So we can go with the same team all over again.
Oh my gosh.
BTJ. BTJ. We're gonna go with both of those guys. Winning team, don't mess up the combination. We're gonna keep riding the hot hands.
All right.
Go ahead, Rhett.
I gotta find a quarterback here. I'm going to go Caleb at home, as opposed. At least we're pushing the ball down the field in Chicago.
You weren't inspired by the Denver offense last week.
In a monsoon, I get it, but look, that could surprise. We shall see. I'll take Caleb. So you got Bo, huh?
Yeah, I got Bo next. That wraps us up there.
All right.
I just feel like, man, it just keeps falling Bucky's way. I don't know. The draft is just falling his way. So we'll see if we can make a dent. We got to catch up here. I think Bowers has got a big game coming here soon. Gosh, they got to give him the ball more. All right, that's going to do it for us today, guys. You have anything else you want to add before we jump out of here? It was a quick episode. I do want to remind everybody we do have Luke Kuechly coming on the show next. So be on the lookout for that pod. But anything else you want to add here? Go ahead, Rhett.
I got USC Minnesota this week from Minneapolis. So another chance to check out Miller Moss, who of course will be a draft eligible quarterback this year.
He won't come out. No chance. He won't come out.
No,
the guy his mom was a professor at USC. He's loved USC. He's had to wait his turn.
He graduated undergrad like 2 years ago.
Get a PhD, baby. Get a PhD.
Really smart guy. But Jacoby Lane's a guy I'll be keeping my eye on for sure. 2 touchdowns, kind of a breakout game
true
last
sophomore,
week.
Right? True sophomore.
Yeah, a young guy. But they're playing well on offense right now. And Woody Marks is another guy we ought to have on our list down the line at the running back spot, just to keep an eye on.
Although the other freshman kid, or maybe he's a redshirt freshman or a sophomore, Joyner's got more juice.
Yeah, probably a little bit more.
What do you got, Buck?
I mean, look, it's postseason baseball time, so I would just tell everybody, make sure you tune in and watch the Dodgers not too late until you get your Shohei Ohtani jerseys to kind of get ready. We normally don't talk a lot about the Dodgers. We try to keep it nice and low key, but DJ's just kind of bringing it up. He's poking the bear. I feel like the translator's going to get the Ohtani and feel like, hey, man, we gotta take care of this one for Bucky and for Singer. We need to dedicate the postseason to these two guys.
To our guy David Singer. Let's go.
By the way, I don't know. I have not studied the language. I'll be honest. So what does anybody know what Japanese is for sweep? Do we know what that is? I don't know. I have to find that out because that's what happened.
That's what say it for us on this.
I will. I'm going to look that up before the postseason's over. But I mean, look, the Dodgers they've been bounced in their first round the last 2 years against a divisional team, and that's probably who they're going to be playing again coming forward here. So we'll see. It'll be fun. Looking forward to that. By the way, before we do that, to be serious for just a moment, especially with Bucky and myself having spent so much time in North Carolina. Bucky grew up there, went to college there. I went to college up in Boone. It's just been devastated by this hurricane. So just if you're listening to us in that area, we're thinking about you. We're praying for you. And if you can, there's lots of avenues you can find to try and donate some money and help because the area just got devastated. If you haven't seen the pictures, it's brutal. So having been up in Boone just a week before and then seeing the devastation a week later, just heartbreaking. So, Buck, I know obviously you've got a lot of ties to the area there.
Yeah, a lot of ties, a lot of family, friends who have people that live in that area. That area is obviously kind of resorty when you think about the Biltmore and all the things that were in Asheville and in that part of North Carolina. So just praying for all the folks there. Hopefully they can work their way through the devastation. But yeah, anything that you can do to make it better for those folks certainly would be greatly appreciated.
Yeah, and I think we just give one final shout out to our friend and colleague Sarah Walsh, who his family lives there in Clearwater in Florida, and had to evacuate in the middle of the night. Neighbor's house caught on fire. I mean, like they've got dealing with some stuff down there too. And she's out here in Los Angeles with us this week, going to host GMFB for the rest of the week. So shout out to Sarah for continuing to grind while they got a lot of stuff they're dealing with back there at home, as are a lot of folks there in Florida as well. Just a devastating late hurricane season.
Yep, no question. That's going to do it for us today. Appreciate you guys hanging with us, and we'll see you tomorrow right here on Move the Sticks.